The bears had a strong moment, and the time to be bearish was months ago. If I look at pretty much everything out there right now, I see a lot of signs that the bulls are going to hit back really hard, right? And you might still be bearish. That's fine, but you have to understand nothing goes down forever. Nothing goes up forever. It goes down and up, right? The bulls had their moment mostly, right? The bears have their moments. Now it's for the bulls. And in this video, I want to show you why this is such a fucking insane time to be alive and to be in this crypto market right now. It never, in a legal way, has been easier to make a lot of money, in my opinion. Guys, really. So let's get over that. Let's get over that. So welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Excuse me if occasionally I'm sitting like because I'm having a little fever. But nevertheless, this making me feel better. So if I look at the market right now, whatever chart I click, I see, whoa, I'm so hyped right now. Really. This video is mostly for the people that still have some money to buy. However, if you do not have money to buy, there's not that you cannot do anything with this. We'll get back to that. But listen up. Crypto is responding to the news that's going on right now, which is mostly the tariffs that Trump announced. And we can debate about the intentions. We know that Trump wanted to weaken the dollar, lower the yields, strengthen the stock market and the crypto market. And he is fucking doing it right now. And yet people feel like, oh, it's bearish. This is exactly, in my opinion, this is exactly the plan, right? So before I get all over the place, in order for the market to really go up hard, right? To stop QT, for the market to go up hard, for people to invest more in really risk assets like altcoins, things need to break, right? Things need to break. We are witnessing the breaking at this moment. You can feel like it's bad, but there will eventually, and we'll get back to potentially when, but will eventually be a huge fucking bear trap and a next leg of the bull market, right? And that cannot happen without all of this breaking, okay? So a couple months ago, and I'm not even mainly talking about Bitcoin, because if you look at Bitcoin, you look at this chart and you can barely see oh, there's something bad going on in the world. Bitcoin is an insane strong asset, right? So if you are already sick of this altcoin game, I would say, hey, ride it out this cycle. Do yourself a favor. Next bear market, step into Bitcoin. It is so strong. It has a lot of returns. There's nothing wrong with Bitcoin, okay? It's not a boring asset. Bitcoin did fantastic, right? So by looking at Bitcoin, it fine, right? If you look at altcoins, I mean, it's still technically in an uptrend. You know, the top 125, if you are gambling on higher risk altcoins, then yeah, they are down a lot more, of course. If you look at altcoins, on one hand, you could say like, well, it's looking terrible, right? Terrible. We went all the way down. On the other hand, you could also say like, yeah, I mean, since the beginning of the bull market and the bottom of the next bear is what I define as the beginning of the bull, whatever the real definition might be. But since the beginning, you know, it has been going up really hard. It has been going down really hard, of course, right? People take profits, etc. It's overheated, yada, yada, yada. So it's been going down really hard. Whatever the narrative was back then, I already forgot it, but there was some bad news and it was all different, yada, yada, okay? It wasn't, right? Then we got a huge leg up again, and now it's going down again. Overall, it's an uptrend, right? The recent low is far, far, far from a lower low, and this was a higher high. That's looking pretty good, actually, right? Problem, most people didn't buy here, right? Or here, or here, or now, because whenever we are that low, people feel, it feels like it will never go up again, right? That's how the markets feel. If it goes parabolic, it feels like it will never go down again. If it goes down, it feels like never going to go up again, right? So most people don't buy here at these places, right? Where did they buy? Well, people wait for confirmation. Hey, look, everything is euphoric. That's confirmation. Let's buy. And then they go down and then they feel like, oh, fuck this market. You could have been in profits pretty easily, actually. Even like still now, right? So if you went all in right here, then let me tell you two things that can help you really much. One, I would sit it out, depending on the coins. I would sit it out and try to put your time into studying how the markets move, right? Why it responds to certain things, how much a certain asset goes down compared to other. There's so much to learn, right? See that that mistake, we all make mistakes, see these mistakes as lesser money. You can say like, oh, I blame a YouTuber or the market or Elon or Trump, whoever. You can also feel like, hey, there are also people in profits right now which aren't insiders, right? What's the difference between me and them? They're in the same market, right? Well, some people didn't buy the highs, right? So that was on you, period, right? There's nothing that you could say about that. Unless someone was actually holding a gun to your head. But I sincerely doubt that. So try to see that as lesser money. Because this will happen again. This happened before. This is normal. You might feel, oh, altcoins are down so much. Normal. This is by far not the worst we have ever seen. And what happened back then, up hard, right? So try to see this as lesser money. I think that is really important. And it doesn't buy you shit right now. I know. But you do know how to not fuck it up next time. Because I saw a lot of people say, next time, I'm going to wait to break even. I'm going to leave this market. Why? You came in crypto to make money. You did something wrong. Learn from it so you can make money next time, right? Don't give up like that, man. Come on. Have some backbone. Now, the other thing that you can do, it's crypto. The world of literally free money, all right? The tokens that you have, stake them, farm them, right? If it's not for too long of a locking time. Go airdrop hunting, play to earn games, right? Like there's so much, participate in giveaways, whatever. There are so many ways in crypto to make free money, right? And it might not be a lot, but you might here and there catch a gem that can do a lot for you, right? I spoke to people in the Alpha Factory community. There's a link down below. Making good money with Hyperliquid for not doing shit right now. Participating in airdrops, making a couple 5K or whatever, right? It's all possible. So let's get into the market right now. But again, if you think that this is bad because, for example, right, that this is Joe, Trader Joe, the leading DEX on the AVAX, and even the leading DEX is down 87%, right? Well, that must be a bear market. It's broken. It's different. It's not coming back because this time, insert whatever the fuck, right? If it was really all that bad, then it would be lower, right? Markets, especially crypto, have a very good way of pricing everything in, including the things that don't even have to be priced in, right? Rumors. But if you think that this is bad, I've shared this before. If you look at 2017, if you overlay Bitcoin, confirm, here, bull market, right? Bitcoin from absolute lows to $20,000, right? This whole period was a bull market. This is a list of the top 20 altcoins. Top 20. I'm not even talking about the shitcoins back then, right? Top 20, all right? Steam, for example. What's Steam? I don't know. Who cares? It's not 2017 anymore. Steam went on a run of 26x, right? A lot. And that's quite similar to what we have seen in last April, May, and December, right? We saw these numbers. But what then happened? Bad news. Everything was over, right? You should sell the lows right now because it went down 98%. You might feel like, oh, yeah, it's not that big of a difference. Oh, yeah. 98%. If Trader Joe would have done that, it will be sitting 10 times as low as it is right now. 10 times as low. And the funny thing is, this wasn't an exception. A lot of coins look like that. Zcash, just new, dropped, came out, right? And it tanked with freaking 99.9%. This was that. Like, if you were not saying that this was that back then, you were a moron, right? If you were in the middle of it. And yet, it did a 40x, right? What I'm saying is that the market can literally go down 10 times as hard from this point and still get into a fat bull market. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm not saying this will repeat. It very likely doesn't. But I am saying, like, hey, now is literally 10 times as good as 2017 is. It doesn't feel good, but it's 10 times as good. And even 2017, saw the fattest alt run ever, right? But it only saw that, right, because the prices went down a lot first, right? Because the people who bought here, they wrote maybe this right here, they made a 77%. Yeah, what the hell, right? What's that? But only the people who actually thought like, let me, buy low, they made real good gains. And therefore, I'm bullish, although things can go lower because I don't know what's going to happen in the short term. I have no clue. But does it really matter? I mean, if you bought here, right, you would have wrote it down with another 55%. People would have said like, you bought at the wrong point. Depends. If you would have sold it here, then you did. But if you were just holding on to it, you still made a 60 fucking X. Fine. Sign me up. Right, so I think it's important, therefore I'm rattling so long about this. I think it's important to have some perspective on that, things can get way worse and still be fine, right? And with be fine, I mean completely fucking explode and give you the biggest opportunity you will ever get in your life, right? If you don't have that perspection, that's new, we'll keep that. Perspective, then it's really hard to hold on to all of this, right? If you feel like the market is not going to go up anyway because of whatever the fuck, right? Yeah. Then why would you hold right now? Then you should panic sell, indeed, right? But I think that most people do realize that crypto is not down only, right? And you can just pop up one chart and you can see that, right? There's nothing too hard about that. You can see it's up, down, up, down. It always have been up, down. Even in this bull market right here, it doesn't look like much, but this right here, just the first random correction that I click was already 32%, right? And this was barely noticeable. Like you could basically say like, well, this was up only, right? And even during an up only phase, it was a 32% correction, let alone how much this was or this, way more, right? So have that perspective, right, guys? Have the understanding and the faith and a little knowledge about how the market moves. Other than that, it is all looking really good. The S&P is looking like a complete fucking shitcoin this week, right? It broke this trend line, this diagonal, and to be fair, I didn't draw it perfectly, but anyway, it broke, doesn't matter, right? But it broke this trend line. Again, you could say, oh, this one trend line is broken, it's all over, the whole world's going to shit. Like, I don't think it works like that. But for the S&P, it's weakness, right? It's weakness. And if you look, from the open to close, 9% on the S&P. What's funny that if you look at the S&P meme coin, it's not even that bad, right? Like, it's crazy. The S&P is shitting the fucking shit out of its shit, right? So, that's insane. That's insane. The cool thing is Bitcoin is holding up fucking fantastic compared to that. Like, crazy, right? S&P down 9%. Bitcoin is up 1.3%. Usually Bitcoin is going down at least 30%. You could say, well, that's still happening. It's possible. It's possible that it's still going to happen. Or it's possible that Bitcoin was already doing it and that the S&P is now following it, as crypto is way faster and better in adapting news, right? And in selling off, because this space now is, let's be honest, filled with a lot of people that are, well, I don't have it right here, but that are in the first place not here. But the people that are here are so bearish, right? So, yeah, I think that this is insane. I think that this is insane. Now, this is also really good because the lower the S&P goes, the closer it gets to the bottom, right? Closer it gets to being oversold, and the closer it gets to reversing again at some point. And the reversing, that's where Bitcoin responds very positively to that, right? So this is looking pretty great. And again, like I said, Bitcoin front running, you can kind of see it right here, right? Bitcoin was already dropping in December, the beginning of December, right? The S&P started to drop 2 months and more than a week later, right? So kind of looks like Bitcoin was already doing that, and now the S&P does it. Right? It makes sense that Bitcoin and crypto adopts it more volatile than the S&P. Again, people are the only people in crypto right now are people that are saying that it's over with every 5% correction that we see. So yeah, the market is kind of volatile. What the good thing is though, again, that, you know, what I said at the beginning is that Trump had a very clear goal. He wants to lower the yield, which is really good for risk assets, of course. And he wants to weaken the dollar, which are also, these risk assets are against the dollar, right? So a weaker dollar, stronger risk assets. Now, I don't like Trump, really. Like, political doesn't really matter that much to me, but I think that he plays a little too much ego games. But apart from that, I have to give him that he is doing what he's saying, right? The dollar, ever since Trump stepped in, went down with 8%. You can say like, well, 8%. 8% the dollar, 8%. That's a lot. That's a lot, really. It went all the way to 101. Insane. I had this drawn out for a long time, and it kind of depends on how you draw it, but it perfectly went there. Insane. Insane, right? So the dollar is going down right now. If you look, let me see if I have it actually right here. Otherwise, there's not much to look at. Yeah. 10-year yield is going down pretty nicely as well. You have to understand, dollar going down, yield going down, fantastic for crypto. Fantastic. And I think that Trump's understand that he's a businessman. He knows how this works, right? He has to break all kind of things. Then it can bounce. And the better crypto is holding up, the better, right? Now, the earlier he does it in his presidency, the better. People will forget about it, and he will probably find a way to be president for the third time, like he always finds his ways. So that's looking good. But again, like I said, every single chart that I look at right now is looking great, right? And you can say like, oh yeah, well, but look at the news. Again, news doesn't matter. News doesn't matter, right? Why? If news matters that much, then you can definitely see it on the charts. So why not just look at the charts, right? If you cannot see it on the charts, then it probably, doesn't matter that much. Otherwise, you would have seen it, right? So therefore, the whole this time is different thing. I only believe that is Bitcoin is now going straight into a bear market below $15,000 or whatever. Then I would say like, this was a little different, right? For now, no sign of it at all, at all. Also, when it comes to alt season, it's more of a buzzword right now, right? But if you look, the biggest part of alt season in 2017, the biggest, right, happened from December until January. In a matter of 56 days, it gained 500 or 5x almost against Bitcoin. Again, that doesn't sound like much, but you have any idea how much Bitcoin went up here, right? Altcoins exploded right there. Crazy, right? So even if you feel like, yeah, well, it's different because altcoin season hasn't happened yet. Yeah, I don't know if that's really different, actually. I don't know, man. I mean, it's not that we don't have good perspective on that, because this is all also backing up the fact that QT is likely going to stop. What's happening right now, everything is breaking, right? It's beautiful. If you have cash, then you are in such a fucking great position right now. Insane. insane. I'm feeling so blessed. You might be negative. There are a lot of negative people lately. I get it. Then again, I also feel like you don't get something if you are that negative. Because you either go down and you are negative, so you don't buy, I guess, or you don't go down, but then where do you buy, right? So, wherever an altcoin or the market is going to go, the lower you buy, the more gains you will make. I feel like that could be defined as a duh, right? So the only people that are actually, I think, now getting kind of scared and fudding and try to be smarter than the market, right? To say, the difference. These are, I think, also the people that, one, don't have cash to buy, but two, also don't really feel like the market is ever going up again. Again, look at the charts. Of course they do, right? Of course it will go up again. Now, what's really interesting, if you ask me, by the way, I'm sweating with this freaking fever of mine. Like, it's crazy, man. But one thing that I noticed that I really wanted to show you guys is the way everything is so insane oversold at this moment. It's really crazy. So we had the DXY collapse, right? Bullish. Cool. We have a lot of charts. If you put the stochastic RSI on it on a bigger time frame, aka bigger moves, it's oversold as fuck, right? The average altcoin market, as I have here right on my screen, right? It's oversold, right? Now, again, it doesn't mean that it's the bottom, right? If anything, we go down another 50%, right? I don't know. Here, we were also oversold. But look what happened. Bam, right? But I do know that whenever we are oversold, it's a better moment to buy than when we are overbought, of course, right? And the longer we stay there, the better. Then this can reset. It's basically nothing but a momentum indicator reset, right? And during the reset, the last reset that we came from these levels, right, from this, the altcoin market on general, like the high caps, excluding the top 10, gained a casual 3x, where altcoins 10xing all over the place. We are at the exact same level now, okay? You can say whatever you want, but there it is, right? And it's not only that. If you look basically on Ethereum, right? We are there. We had our dear perma bear, I almost want to say, Benjamin Cowen, talking about Ethereum going home, right? And I don't know if you watch his videos. His videos are really good. Sometimes maybe a little too conservative, but he has a lot of money, so I get that. But he often talks about Ethereum going home and what needed to happen in order for that to happen, right? The Fed needed to break something. Well, again, the breaking happening right in your face right now, right? That's beautiful. And where is Ethereum? It's fucking home, right? What's home? The logarithmic regression band for Ethereum, right? And that's currently sitting between 2,300 and 1,100. Does it has to go to the rooftop, to the first floor, to the basement? Who knows, right? All I know is this is quite beautiful for Ethereum. Also, while it is sitting there almost at the middle with this huge support right here, the stochastic on the weekly completely oversold, right? So that's beautiful. Now, the cool thing is that the weekly gives big moves like we just saw, right, with the altcoin market. If it's so oversold, then eventually when it starts to go up, this was easy 200% on the high caps, right? Time before that was pretty much here. It wasn't even that low right there, but that's why the altcoin market gained with 400%, right? Like fucking, like that was basically the start of the bull market, right? That's what it does on the weekly, but on the monthly, we even have bigger moves. And the monthly isn't quite there yet, but holy shit. If you look at this, right, the monthly for the altcoin market, I know that, it isn't there yet. We have a lot of room to go down, potentially, right? We can also pull something off like this, where we had that, mid-cycle. Like we had the bull, right? We went into the bear. We had the yeah, whatever the fuck this was, the mid-bull went into a mid-bear, right? And where we then went up, peaked in that mid-cycle, peak right here, and then went down, caused a 70% correction, right? We are now going down way harder on the stochastic, but the correction is way less than 70%. So if anything, this stronger right now. So I don't expect this to play out in the like this right now, because price is relative strong compared to the momentum. But if you look at a couple things, like where don't you want to buy, right? You don't want to buy necessarily when everything is fully overbought, right? It's getting there on the monthly as well. And again, on the weekly, it is like Bitcoin is already pointing upwards. Bitcoin is beautiful, right? But if you look at Ethereum Bitcoin, for example, right? That's one of the better altcoin season indicators that there is. At least for a in this market, it makes sure that we at least get somewhat of a dead cat bounce, right, so far. But if you look, it's there again, right? And the last time it was there, yeah, it didn't really gain that much, right? It had a moment where it went up with 30%. Yeah, I mean 30% against Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin is also going up, what do you think alts, lower cap alts are going to do? And that's not even anything like an alt season, right? That's just a, right, whatever. It's not a big time frame necessarily. That's more if you look at the monthly. I think that the monthly for Ethereum, yeah, look, the monthly for Ethereum, bro. I mean, holy shit. I like, yeah, it was also an opportunity back here. I get that, right? But the more time we spend here, the bigger the opportunity gets, right? If you look at altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, they are sitting really nicely low at the monthly. If you look at altcoin dominance also, but most things, if you look at the weekly, man, the weekly, it's insane. What happens here is what might play out over the next, here it played out from June to September. So let's say half a year, probably, right? It could be the rest of the bull market. Well, the rest of the cycle, right? The rest of the cycle looks like it has a fat lag in it to go up, right? And yeah, I don't know. If you look at low caps altcoins versus high cap altcoins, it's also pretty cool. So it's kind of ranging, right? This is everything in the top 125, excluding the top 10, against the top 10, right? And you can see that low cap alts, you know, compared to high caps, are getting nicely wrecked right now. But we are getting there. It's not time, I think, to be in real low caps, but once it is, it could be really, really profitable. And I know that there are many people that say like, oh, I need a 5x to break even or whatever. Yeah, I get that. You should not think that a 5x is that unrealistic from this point, right? I mean, it went down overall, right? The general altcoin market was 53%, like it's nothing, right? Going back to that level is already a 2.5x, give or take, right? If you look at a lot of alts, I have this thing in front of me. There's a meme coin, so for fuck's sake, I'm not saying that this is going back up necessarily, but it went down 86%, right? You have to realize going up 86% is by far, of course, not the target, because 86% from this price is, of course, way more than 86% of this price. I think we all understand that. But even going back here, right? No alt season, not talking about that in this video, right? Just the QT levels, non-alt season levels. For some coins, this is a 3.5x, right? Chainlink, relative safe altcoin, right? Is a 2.5x. If you want to go like near, like I'm not even talking about these risky ones necessarily right now, right? It's almost a 4x. We can go a little riskier. We can go to coins like CDFI, which I think will do amazing. Yeah, they are, of course, way like that's a 10x pretty much, right? Should realize market can go down really hard, but it also can go up really hard, especially now that everything is finally breaking, stocks are down, the tariffs are there, the news is there right now, everything is oversold. It is like every chart that I click is flashing red buying indicator. Again, whether it goes down another 50% from here or not, right? But you should realize, does that really matter? Again, if CDFI goes down another 50% from here, you lose 50%, of course, okay, cool. But if it goes back to its cycle high again, and we don't need an alt season, right? Again, we were there without an alt season, so it's likely that we're gonna see a lot of altcoins outperform these prices. That's already a 10x. Yeah, losing, like putting $1,000 in, turning it either into 500 or in 10,000. That's a good deal, right? That's a good deal, and especially if you do have cash, because if we do go down another 50% and you also buy there a little bit and you go up, you make 20x. And I'm not looking at a fucking shit meme coin or anything, right? I'm looking at CDFI, the blue chip launchpad. We can look at Prime. Like gaming is like, I think a lot of people underestimate how well that's going to do. If it goes down 40, 50% and it goes back to this 14x, right? The market can change like this, right? Like really. And I need you to understand that. I need you to have that perspective. I'm not going to give you that list like 10 best coins to buy. And I know it's long and I know. But if you understand what I am saying, and I'm not saying that I have the right answer, but if you at least understand what I'm saying, and if that plays out like that, which is the most likely outcome in my opinion, then it doesn't even matter what you buy. You don't have to take a lot of risk. You just ride that reward up, man. So, there's a lot that I forgot, I think. Fuck that, man. I don't care. I'm feeling sick as fuck, so I'm wrapping it up. Thanks for watching. If you do like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Happy shopping, and have some patience, man. I always see bears being bearish without many reasons, and I feel like, who are you trying to convince? Let's do this, guys. We are going to make it really